Welcome back, everybody, to the weekend show. I'll be breaking down the big mega cap stocks. So, before we get started, please hit that like button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you guys are new here, definitely consider subscribing. And now, let's get right into the market and see what happened Friday. All right, so welcome back once again, guys. And you can see the market was pretty much rotating again. And if you look at my screen, Dow was up on the day, 0.46%, Nasdaq going down 0.64%, S&P flat, and Russell pretty much flat on the day, advancing 48 and declining almost 48 as well. So 50-50 here. And when you look at 11 sectors, well, you can see here on top, leading the way, real estate, consumer defensive, financial, communication services, healthcare. So a lot of the sectors, they were actually in the green on Friday, except technology took it right on the chin, down 1.46%. Stock market map, what do we have here? If you look at my screen, I mean, lots of names actually green. Apple was up, whopping 3.5%. Microsoft again flat. Oracle went down again. And when you look at some of these software names like IBM, CRM, now a lot of these names, catching a breather here. Nvidia was slightly down, but look at semis here. MU 7%. I think it was up last week at some point about 12-13%, so gave back a lot of those gains. Intel down even with earnings. Marvel, AMD, Broadcom down 2.69%. Meta down also nearly 2%. Google going up slightly, but a lot of green here in this market, even though the market felt like it was going down rapidly. We have lots of things coming next week, guys, and I'm going to share some of the things that are really key factor going into next week. You can see durable goods come Monday, but then what do we have here, guys? I mean, we have core PC, GDP growth, and then Wednesday, what do we got on Wednesday here? FOMC, right? So we have to see, we have to hear what Kevin Warsh got to say about the interest rate. I think they're gonna be just doing nothing unchanged, but we'll see what happens into the meeting and into the press conference, right? And then we have all these data. We also have more data coming out Friday, including Michigan consumer sentiment. Now, earnings, lots of earnings. If you want to take a screenshot, go ahead and do that. But you can see lots of earnings. The big ones, Microsoft, Meta. We got ARM, QCOM right after closing on Wednesday. Then we got Apple and Amazon. So some of the biggest names on earth are reporting earnings this week. Fear and Greed Index, 39. We're back on fear. Global sentiment, you can see 29.6% are bullish, 28.1 are neutral, and the bearishness just got up even more, 42.3. On Tesla stock, it was down 2% on Friday, in top of what was the big drop that happened on Thursday. We had earnings Wednesday night into Thursday morning, biggest drop we have seen in recent times on Tesla. Now, we talked about it in my previous video that Tesla, I'm not expecting some, massive earnings beat and massive, uh, when it comes to guidance. And we were expecting this, that Tesla not gonna come out, and I don't know who the heck is gonna buy that robot, whatever thing Elon built, that costs so much money also. So in that result, earnings they were really horrible, and investors did not like that, and you can see the big drop. And so far, it's dropping, getting some sort of really oversold at the point. I took a little bit of position here on Tesla. I think it's a good buy because we're getting like $200 off from the top, which was like what 500 here in this case. All-time high, 52-week high was almost 499, right? So that is a good dip. Now, is that for a quick bounce? No. At least in, if I'm going to sell out, I would need possibly to fill this gap from earnings, which is not going to happen immediately. So if you're looking into Tesla, maybe trying to catch this falling knife, keep that in mind. You need to buy time. Otherwise, you have to just suffer this short-term loss here on Tesla, which is dropping rapidly. Now, key points here on Tesla. If you look at my screen, there was a lot of trading here, right? So we're in that pocket between 330 and 299, 300 area. That should be a strong area of support. We got really close to almost 300 on Friday. We bounced back a little bit, but nothing significant, right? So a counter trend rally definitely possible. I think it was down like 60, $70 on Friday, and then on top of that, another $7 on Friday, right? So pretty big drop when you look at a name like Tesla. The market cap also dropped below uh, 1.5. Now it's close to $1 trillion market cap. Same thing happening with SpaceX, right? So Tesla here, guys, watch for this area to hold. Now, if this thing goes under 300, that's going to be shocking because if it goes under 300, a lot of things can happen very quickly. And Tesla is known for that, where it can drop rapidly to fill some of these gaps here, like 259, 242. That is totally possible. But I think also, if you look at the longer picture, if it drops here somehow below 300, I think it's going to be a fantastic opportunity with a 50% upside from here. If it drops here, then that's going to come at some point. But again, it's not going to be a quick flip. So keep that in mind. So Tesla, very oversold. Look at the lower Bollinger Band here. It's right here, right about 329, 330, right? It's trading at 311 right now. So watch out for this key support zone. If it breaks below that, we could be landing down here somewhere around 280, 281. If we get a counter trend rally, watch out for that 330 zone, possibly into right here at 337. If only if we get some sort of a counter trend rally come Monday and this week. On Google, stock is up 0.24%, so pretty flat on Google. But one thing I want to point out here, guys, that Google, yes, it came down significantly from all-time highs to what, 315, 314. It's down over 22%. And whenever you see that, I mean, it's in bear market pretty much, right? Over 20%. So Google here, fantastic opportunity. Can it go lower? Yes, it can. They got a lot of spending on AI, and that is the result of this big drop. And this is what I like. Like, if you look at all the mega caps, Nvidia and Google, and then Apple, three companies, really good when it comes to big drop and then recovering and then going back up to all-time highs. This is totally possible. Well, at least in the short term, I can see, counter trend rally easily up to, let's say, 334, maybe even into the gap. Now we do have a bunch of gaps down here. So it's down over 22%. If it comes down, gets under 314, we might fill this gap. That's totally possible. 304 for this upcoming week. I'm not expecting, going under 304, but, no guarantee things can happen, on a stock like Google. But it's getting really oversold as well. So if this thing gets a bounce, watch 328 to possibly up here right around 333, 334. If we can stay over that this week, then expect Google to go up and close the gap right here at close to 342. All right, so just a quick reminder for you guys, if you are really serious about trading and you want to do this full time and get all sorts of trade ideas, definitely head over to Patreon, and that link will be down below in the description for you guys. And if you go for that annual membership, you do save some money. You get about 20% off on that. So check it out. On Amazon, stock is down 0.66%. So this is just a sympathy drop, I would say, from Google and some of the other names like Tesla. A lot of spending on AI, and people are just fearing that Amazon, they're going to say the same thing. They made a lot of money, but they're spending a lot of money on AI, right? AI spending. So it dropped down to 232 at the lower band. It can go lower if it breaks below that. Watch out for 224. 232 can hold. We need to get over 236.64 and then into the gap 242.45 from last week, Thursday. On Meta, it's down 1.80%, so down nearly 2%. In Meta, I mean, this thing is so volatile. And why? I mean, look at these rips. Look at this down move here. Boom, over 700. Boom, back down to where it was, right? Boom, almost 700, right? It's crazy to trade this thing, right? Unless you get especially into the right side of the trade with Meta, you're gonna lose a ton of money and expensive options, Meta. So not everybody can afford. We do have earnings this week on the 29th, and we got this massive drop. And we all know that Metaverse, Zuckerberg spending a lot of money also into AI. And that's why, I mean, even with all that, guys, I think Meta is doing pretty well. I mean, we got close to 700. So if you think about it, it's not doing that bad, right? But this trend line goes all the way back. I mean, if I extend it, let's say, we got here and just getting a rejection, right? So Meta here, I think in the short term, if we can hold up around this 600 mark come tomorrow morning, Monday, if we can recapture that, maybe get over the 50-day moving average, 606, we might see a move up to 614, maybe even into the gap from Thursday, 624 this week before earnings. Now, if this thing starts with a gap down, well, there is a massive gap down here, 565, and we would be filling that gap rapidly on Meta. So this is not something I'm looking to trade this week because of earnings, but moves are going to be really crazy here on Meta. On AMD, it's down 3.29%. So AMD, I think it was up from these lows. I mean, look at the move here, guys. 460, and then we got up to 562. So that is a $100+ move in just a matter of 1 week. So we gave back some of that. Totally healthy. I mean, look at where it's trading, right? It's still gone up quite a bit from the lows. So AMD here, not even holding these moving averages. I would like to see AMD recapturing, let's say 533 right here. That happens, a little bit more upside left. We do have earnings the following week, not next week. So AMD here, maybe a bunch of chop. We get to see next week again, up, down, just in this range here. And if this range is going to break, I would like to see AMD below 470. Maybe take out this low from last week, 460. That is when you're going to see AMD coming down, and this gap comes into play from last earnings. Now to the upside, if this thing goes up, gets over, and recaptures 533, I would expect AMD to go up and hit another all-time high. That's totally possible. On Apple stock, it's up 3.53%. So completely different. They have money. They're not spending much of money and stuff. So Apple goes right up, not even filling the gap. Technically, that's really bullish and a huge move on Friday, especially when we have earnings coming out this week, Thursday night, right after closing. Massive, massive move. As a matter of fact, almost, hitting another all-time high. So Apple here, if it breaks, let's say 334, 335 stays over that. Look at the Bollinger Band expanded up to 346. I think that's where it can go over this high right here. If it comes back in and this is just gonna be some profit taking before earnings, I don't know if people are gonna hold with a lot of the gains into earnings because Apple usually with earnings or after drops most cases. If this thing breaks below 329, watch out for the support down here at 323.56, and then this gap comes into play and previous all-time high, which is around that gap, 316, 317. On Nvidia, stock is down 0.92%. So yes, we had this flag, we had the breakout. We also have inverse head and shoulder. We have left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and so far just chilling out here. Nvidia trading over 203. Technically, that's bullish, but we're getting rejection at 212 multiple times, guys. One, two, three. Even on Friday, we got rejection there, right? So Nvidia breaks 212. It's heading higher, 217 possibly into 225, and maybe even up to previous all-time highs. Earnings are going to come out end of next month, August. Now, if this thing comes back and gets to 203, does not hold, which is the 20-day, then I would expect more downside here, all the way down to flat 200 and then 196. On Microsoft is absolutely flat on the day. So Microsoft, it's really frustrating to see this stock like that. And I don't know what they're gonna do with earnings. Again, might be spending might be really a lot, even though they have tons of cash. But the spending, if it's outrageous, which was last earnings, that's why we saw that drop. It's not gonna be good for the bulls. So one thing I want to point out, guys, the Bollinger Bands are really tight. Look at the lower one actually going up, upper one coming down a little bit, and it's trading in between. So this week, before earnings, if this thing crosses 400, uh, that's going to be a little bit suspicious, right? That why it's going up before earnings. Are they going to have a good earnings in anticipation of that, or they're just pumping into the earnings where it can drop? Two things can happen. But as of right now, this right here, right about 378 and this level 382 needs to hold. So far, it's trading right in between that level. If this level gives up, it can go lower, definitely. Now, if we can recapture, let's say, 397.67 to 400, that would look a little bit bullish before earnings, and we can possibly see what earnings will bring here on Microsoft. But very disappointing, last few weeks. I mean, this thing cannot hold gains. This was a nice move, but look at what happened. Gap down. Even on Friday, look at the move here. It was up, I think, 1.5%. 389 gave back everything and came back, right? So cannot hold gains. This is the only mega cap stocks, and I would say Google and Tesla they might recover faster than Microsoft. You might see Google and Tesla going back up, maybe not going back up to all-time highs immediately, but recovering a lot of the losses in next few weeks. Then this thing here, unless we have some surprise with earnings where this thing goes up 30 $40, that would be the one to watch for. All right, so on Broadcom, it was down 2.69%, pretty significant drop, and it was outside the expected move on over 400 last week. So we came back in a little bit here, and it just trading in between this chop zone. You can see we went up, came down, we went up, came down again. We were trying to go back up. We gave back some of those gains. So 387 breaks that can take Broadcom back up to 400, possibly 413. If it comes down and takes out 373.67, I would likely to come down and retest this area right here, 356.7. And if it breaks under that, we could be filling some of these gaps. So very simple path here on Broadcom, but this is a market moving stock, and we had a decent drop from all-time highs. So as long as it does not, break this low, 356.7, definitely just bullish consolidation and possibly a breakout over 400 will take the stock higher. But moment we take out 356.7, there will be more downside on Broadcom. So keep that in mind if you're trading Broadcom. All right, so the last one, SpaceX down 2.68%. So just like Elon Musk from $1 trillion net worth, things are not looking good for SpaceX, and it happened over and over. I would like to, hear if any one of you guys actually bought this thing on the hype, and now you're down on your position because a lot of people did, and they thought this is gonna do same like Tesla, which they have a real product. Where this case is who's flying to space. I'm not going anytime soon, right? I don't know if you guys are going. Let me know in the comment section. So it was in space, the stock itself. Now it landed on Earth, and it's not landing. I would say, it actually crashing down to Earth. That's what's happening, right? Down over 50% in just a matter of a few weeks after the IPO. We went under the IPO price, and now at 115, we made a new low. I think it was at 110, which is ridiculous to see that it was trading where and how far this thing came down, how quick. So when you see stocks going up and people say, "Oh, I think it's gonna go to 500, 700," because it went up like 200, 300 bucks, and then you find out all that hype, all that FOMO, and the stock crashing like 50, 60% in just a matter of a few weeks. This is a good example. Now we got this downtrend line here. I mean, it's overall in a massive downtrend, but this is the recent one. You can see we tagged it, we failed, we kind of tagged here, we failed, and just trading here. We do have earnings, so this is not going to be any earnings where I'm expecting any massive news or anything out of SpaceX. If it goes up, it would be some sort of a sympathy oversold bounce. They're not making any money. There is no money coming in, no crazy things happening with SpaceX. I mean, it's called SpaceX exploration, right? Exploring things. And when you're out exploring things, you don't make money immediately, right? Unless you find something that is reasonable and you can maybe build something off of it. Maybe, people can go there and all that. If you're just exploring things, you're not gonna make money. Yes, you can enjoy yourself, which Elon Musk is enjoying, being the first ever trillionaire, but nothing really, Crazy happening here, guys. So only if it breaks this trend line, I would say now 120-ish, then I would expect maybe some sort of a counter trend to retest, and that's just going to be a lower high here, 147, but nowhere near. Not even going to talk about it. Let's see if we can break 120-ish this trend line. Only then we can talk about upside. Otherwise, 110 gives up, we could be landing down to like 105 to flat 100. And that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated.